Jazzcast Pros.
Hello and welcome back, beautiful souls. Today we have an interesting yet fun and I hope very insightful episode for you. So, I think it was about a month or so ago, I put out a question. You know how you can put on Instagram, ask me any questions. So, people started sending in questions, and I have been collecting these questions and I wanted to wait until I had at least 15 to 20 questions because I wanted to put them into Chat GPT to have it sorted out for me in categories to just make it more fun and again more impactful and more empowering for you all. Welcome to Healing Her Within, the podcast for women who are ready to break free, rise up, and reclaim every part of themselves. I'm your host, Maryann Rivera Dannert, certified life and confidence coach, author, speaker, and a woman who's walked through the fire and came out fearless. Each episode is packed with real talk, mindset shifts, powerful tools, and soul fueled conversations to help you stop surviving and start thriving. This is Healing Her Within. Let's begin. So, I have 8 questions to start out with, and you went deep. Some of these questions kind of like made me take a pause, like, ooh, am I ready to go this deep? But that is the beautiful thing. I asked you all for questions and you did not shy away. So thank you for that. And thank you for not being afraid. One of the questions even said, I'm currently struggling with this. So, what can I do? And I love that. That is the whole purpose of this. This is about you. It's more teachings and more help for you all. So, whether this is your question, because I didn't ask for names, I didn't keep track of names or accounts or anything like that. I was literally just saving the questions and compiling them into a Word document, which I then uploaded to Chat GPT and had it sorted out. So thank you for everyone who participated. To be totally transparent and honest with you, I was wondering, like, is anyone really going to ask any questions? Does anybody really have any questions and things like that? Because again, those limiting beliefs, that inner critic, that self doubt, it does not matter what stage in your business you are. It does not matter what stage in your entrepreneurial path you're in, whether you are working corporate or whether you have your own business. It does not matter whether you're making 3 figures consistently a month or whether you're making 6 figures consistently a month or more. Self doubt, inner critic can sometimes creep in. So sometimes when I make certain posts and things like that, people, it might get a couple of likes, they might get a comment or two here or there. And then because you can look at the insights and look deeper into your posts and things like that, you see that it's reached like 300 accounts, but you only got 2 likes. So I'm like, okay, is anybody really going to ask any questions? And thank you for humbling me. And thank you for, indulging me with your questions because, yes, I think it was 25 questions in total. So it's broken up into 2 sections. The first part is called healing and inner work. That's the first category. And then the second category is confidence and identity. So there's 4 questions in each of the 2 sections. So I'm super excited to just dive in and let's do this. So the first question: what did healing your inner child actually look like for you? And where should I start with mine? Whew, such a beautiful question because you all know that everything that MRD Empowerment Solutions does, everything that I, strive to do with healing her within, and it started with Fearless Fridays with Maryann, is all about your inner child, my inner teen. So, what did that look like for me? What did healing my inner child actually look like? So, to be totally honest, I wasn't really sure if I was doing it right. So sometimes we see things on social media, we hear conversations, we hear other people doing things and doing the work, and we start questioning ourselves like, that doesn't look that way for me. Am I actually doing it right? What I started to tap into, what was it about little Maryann or my inner teen that I enjoyed doing? When I was a little girl growing up, as far back as I could remember, what were some of the activities that one, I loved doing, and two, that I lost track of time doing? Whether it was coloring, whether it was dancing or jumping in puddles, whether it was jump rope, whether it was hopscotch, whether it was dancing, even though there wasn't a lot of dancing when I was growing up until I got to my teenage years, because of my religious upbringing. But what did I enjoy doing? So it was sitting down and just like closing my eyes and thinking about those moments. What did I enjoy doing? What did little Maryann lose track of time doing? And I started slowly doing a little bit of those things, whether it was, 10 minutes a week or at least once a month, whatever worked. Whenever I felt like, okay, this is something I just want to try out and test out, I just started doing a little bit more of that. And one of the things that I know that I love, 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 love is being by the water. Growing up in Puerto Rico, the ocean was not that far from us. There was always a lot of like rivers and ponds and things like that near us that we frequented. And I just loved it. I loved it. It brought me joy, like the sound of water. So that is, I think, one of the things or one of the reasons why I truly love being by the water, especially the ocean. Those colors, the turquoise, the teals, oh my gosh, just so beautiful. So I just started doing a little bit of those things that I liked. Recently, when I went to Costa Rica for my ayahuasca retreat, they told us to bring in coloring books because sometimes, like in your quiet time, you wanted to do things that your inner child that would bring you comfort and soothe you and things like that. And I was like, really? Coloring books? But I bought some. I bought two coloring books and a 24 pack of color pencils. And oh my soul, oh, it was so breathtaking. And especially, again, I was in the jungle and we had a balcony which faced the waterfall. And you could hear the waterfall because it was super quiet out in the jungle. So we could hear it. And it was just so tranquil and just so beautiful. So, some of the things that I've learned is one, I love being by the water, and two, coloring. And three, I do like movement. Not necessarily dancing because, yes, I'm Puerto Rican and it is what it is. I can dance to save my life. But I do the best that I can. And it's not, again, that I'm performing for other people, it's for yourself. So just move. Move however you feel the beats, however you feel the tone of the music, however your body decides to just go, move, just go with it. So, where should you start with yours? That is exactly what I invite you to do. Sit down and reflect back when you were a little girl, or even if it's a man listening to this, as a little boy, your smaller child, what did you enjoy doing? What kind of activities did you like doing that brought you joy? Was it going to the park and swinging on the swings, or going down the slides, or jumping rope, or coloring, playing in the rain, and playing, jumping in puddles? Was it playing with your stuffed animals, playing with your little toy cars or dolls? Whatever activities brought you joy as a child, as your, inner teenager, that brought you joy and comforted you, start digging a little deeper and start making time to add that to your current life, whether it's 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a week, but make sure that you fit it in and just, scan your body, ask your body, how do you feel? How does that activity feel for you? Does it comfort you? Does it bring you joy? So that is the first question. The second question, what does it really mean to heal within? And how do I know if I'm doing the work right? Again, there it goes, that we're comparing ourselves to other people. And again, it's not, you don't want to mimic anybody else's journey. This is about you. What is going to work for you? Because of what may work for me may not work for you. But I love the way that the question was framed. How do you really know, excuse me, that you're healing from within? So, what that feels like for me, this is about me. What does it look like for me? Is that things from my past, when they come up, whether it's something that I see on TV or a song that might pop up or something that, reminds me of my either my childhood or teenage years or previous relationships, they don't tug at me or ache like in a hurtful pain anymore. Healing, I believe, is something that continuously happens. So you just, as time goes on, it hurts a little less. But I truly believe that healing is an ongoing process. You are always going to, something is always going to remind you of something from your past, whether it's a smell, whether it's a taste, whether it's a sound, whether it's seeing something, whether it's a color or something like that. Something's always going to bring you back. So the healing for me is that it no longer hurts how it did back when the situation first happened. So it's not about you doing it right. It's about you being consistent in your journey to continue healing. And again, there's not an end point. So a way to measure if you are on the right path is when something reminds you of something that occurred before, whether it's a previous relationship, whether it's how you were brought up, early, teenage years, inner child, as were a young child, or early adulthood. How do you feel? How do you react when you hear, see, smell something that reminds you of the past? Do you immediately get frightened? Does your body tense up? Do you have that, fight? What's the thing? Freeze, fight, flight? Which one are you in? Or are you in a, hmm, okay, I see it, I recognize it, and I'm okay. And I think that that's the best way to measure it. So again, it's not that you're doing it right or wrong, because when it comes to healing, there's no right way or wrong way. It's what works best for you. So it's just checking in with yourself and how are you doing? How do you feel compared to how it was when the situation first happened? The third question, what was the turning point in your life where you said, enough, I'm choosing me? Ooh, y'all really getting deep. So for me, the turning point was the relationship that I was in before I met my husband. I have talked about this before. Um, but so it's not like a bad question because I've mentioned this before because, there's new listeners and things like that. But for me, the turning point was when a friend looked at me and said flat out, I don't recognize you. What is it about this relationship that you are still in it? Why have you not left? You need to make a plan because if you don't, things are going to end very badly. And I think it was the way that individual phrased the question that it caused me, like it shifted something within me, like, oh, wow, people are starting to notice. And I think for me, that was the turning point when somebody from outside of those four walls that I was in noticed what was going on. And as much as I tried to isolate, the situation was still visible and I could no longer hide. And then I started reflecting. I started pleading with God, like, please help me. Please help me get out of this situation. What do I need to do? And then it was just learning to silence all the chaos, all the noise, all the external noises so I can truly listen to his voice. So yes, I mentioned God because that is my higher power. That's who I believe in. So whatever higher power you believe in is tap into that higher power. Ask your higher power for a sign. If you have individuals in your life that you trust and that you respect and that they will be honest with you, but also caring. So they're not going to be talking bad. They're not going to be putting you down, but they're going to come to you from a place of love. Ask them, what do they see? Do they notice any difference? And if they do, then you have to, tap in and ask yourself, what is it that I truly want for my life? And if you have children, what do you want for your children? Would you want your daughter to be treated the way you are being treated? Would you want your son to treat his significant other the way you are being treated? Most likely the answer is no. So you have to start asking yourself, why am I putting up with this? What is it that I am afraid of? And then start making a plan, because it's not going to be you figure this out on Sunday and Monday you're escaping or you're leaving the situation. It does not work that way. Create a safety plan. I've talked about safety in the past. Safety before anything else. Have a person that you can trust and confide in that person what your plan is and ask them for help. And then focus. Again, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. There are days that you're going to, tell yourself, oh, I wish I would have just stayed because this is difficult. But no, it's easy to stay in what we're comfortable with. The difficulty is in being brave and taking action. And you will know that things are going to get better, because very slowly things are going to get better and you're going to start noticing and you're going to start building that inner confidence. And the fourth question in this segment is, how do I know if I'm holding on to beliefs that belong to me, and how do I release them? Ooh, this is such a beautiful question. So it goes in again to reflecting and asking yourself, is this something that came from me? Is this something that I value? Is this something that I created for myself? Is this a belief that I have for myself? Or was this belief passed down to me? And just question it. Sit with each belief. And depending on the number that of beliefs that there are, it might take several days, it might take several weeks, several months. And also seek therapy, seek, guidance from a therapist, and start talking about these beliefs and dig in a little deeper and ask yourself again, where did this belief first originate from? And what has kept it going, and why does it continue to show up? And challenge that belief. Is it really yours? And if it's not yours, then find a way to reframe that belief into one that belongs to you, that feels safe to you, and that you resonate with, and that feels good and comfortable within you. And just keep repeating it and holding on to the version that you have rewritten, because again, the old version does not belong to you. So now we're going to shift into confidence and identity. So the first question in this segment is, how did you find the courage to stop shrinking and finally take up space in your own life? So again, this has to do with that previous relationship. When I made the commitment to leave the relationship, I had in my mind said that I was going to focus on myself and my children, that no longer would I let someone else tell me how to live my life, what I could or could not do, because I had the skill set, I had the smarts to start living for myself. And I started creating ways that honored who I was becoming. And yes, even though I met my now husband shortly after I left that relationship, I was very clear from the beginning. I was not afraid to set boundaries. I was not afraid to make my values known. And I was not afraid to be able to walk away from it if there was any challenge, because it was literally my way or the highway. I was not going to negotiate. Now, 17 years later, because we are married and we just recently celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary, we have learned to compromise. But again, my values are my values, my boundaries are my boundaries, and those are non negotiable. But I have learned to compromise because, again, I, yes, said yes to the engagement, said yes to the proposal, said I do at the, wedding. At our wedding for our vows and things like that. So it takes compromise. But again, my values, I stand very firm. We are very open on communicating what my needs are, what I like, what I don't like. I listen, and we come up with a plan that suits both of us. So it's not necessarily anymore my way or the highway, but we do have honest and open conversations as to what's working, what's not working, where can we shift, or if it's something that I'm like dead set on, I just hold on to that. I make my voice known. And again, if it's something that I'm truly deeply sure about, that it's a non-negotiable, I don't negotiate. And we have learned that it kind of is what it is. Question number 2. How do you rebuild confidence after toxic relationships or years of self doubt? This is an excellent question, and I actually just talked about this in last week's episode. So I am going to make sure that we have that in the show notes so you can easily refer to it. Or if it was the episode from last week, so you can go back and listen to that. And then it's a whole episode on building self confidence, self love, self trust, especially after betrayal and years of toxicity and dealing with self doubt. Next question. I struggle with comparing myself to other women. How did you break free from that? This is another great question. And I think that, to be totally honest, some people may say that they don't, and that's their opinion. But my opinion, my view is that there's some healthiness in being a little jealous, envious of someone else. But you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Question number 1, what is it about them, their situation, what you see? Because again, we're only seeing the highlight reels. So we're only seeing the good. We're not seeing the bad. We're not seeing the struggles. We're only seeing the good things that people post. So what is it about that person that I am comparing myself to them? Is it because they're showing up? Is it the way they dress? Is it the way they talk? The car they drive? The amount of money that they're saying that they're making? The way they move? The way they show up? What is it about that individual that I am comparing myself to? Number 1, once you have your list, and then ask yourself, am I willing to do the work to get to where that individual has gotten themselves? Because you can, listen, you all know, and if you don't know, you're going to know now. My dream car is a G Wagon. Mercedes G Wagon. I even have like a little jingle that I say every time I see one, whether I see it in person, whether I see it on TV or a movie. I'm going to stop mid sentence and I'm going to say my little jingle because I am manifesting the hell out of this car and I'm going to get it one day. But the thing about it is, I'm making a plan because a G Wagon at bare minimum is like $130,000. It's probably even more than that. But that's the bare minimum. Right now, am I, number 1, able to pay for a car that's 6 figures? Absolutely not. And there's no shame in me saying that no, I cannot afford a 6-figure car right now. I cannot. Am I willing to do the work to make that happen? Absolutely. That's why I'm here talking to you all, showing up and doing the work because I want this car. I am manifesting this car. So I need to do the work to be able to not just, 1, get the car, but 2, maintain it. Because obviously, if the car is 6 figures, you know it is going to take some money to upkeep that vehicle. So it's not just about buying the car, it's about having a safety net to be able to continue to keep the car and maintain the car. So, what is it that you're comparing yourself to? Someone else. And are you willing, are you able to do the work to get you there, to get you to that same level? Because again, we are only seeing the highlight reel. And you probably have heard the term of like the iceberg before. So when there's an iceberg, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. So again, you're only seeing the good things that are going on. You're only seeing the cars that they're posting, the houses that they're posting. They're talking about making 5, 6, 7, 8 figures and things like that. They're talking about, them and their significant others or their group of friends traveling the world and things like that. But you don't see the bottom. You don't see the depression. You don't see the arguments. You don't see that he's sleeping on the couch half of the time. You don't see that she might be cheating or he might be cheating or the kids are misbehaving or they just recently got fired or recently were, received a bad medical diagnosis or they just recently lost their best friend because of betrayal or distrust or something like that. So slow down when it comes to comparing and truly ask yourself, are you willing to do the work that you may not see that they have done to get to where they're at? Because you are probably comparing your day one, your chapter one, to their final chapter, to their day 1238 and things like that. So slow down when it comes to comparing ourselves because, again, we are only seeing the highlight reel. We're not seeing what is going on behind closed doors. So how did I break free from that? From that, asking myself, what is it that I am comparing myself to? Why is this an issue for me? Is this something that I truly want for myself? And am I willing to do the work to get to where they are at? And if it's somebody that you trust, admire, and respect, reach out to them and ask them, how did you get to where you are today? Can you provide me with any pointers? Were there any struggles, anything that you had to overcome to get to where you are today? And then the last question in this segment, I've lost myself in being a wife, a mom, or professional. How do I reconnect with me again? Oh, this is such a beautiful question. And how do you reconnect to you? Is by tapping into what it is that you like. Who are you? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What brings you joy? The thing about it is that sometimes we lose ourselves because we don't know who we are. We don't know what our likes are, what our dislikes are. So start asking yourself, what do I like for breakfast? What do I really like to eat? What do I like for lunch, for dinner, for snacks? Do I like the beach? Do I like the mountains? And it's not only the beach because you might like the water, but do you like lakes, ponds, rivers, streams? Do you like pink, purple, teal, black, blue, red? Do you like basketball, football, soccer, tennis, gymnastics? Do you like R&B music? Do you like country music? Do you like pudding? Do you like cake? Do you like ice cream? Do you like meat? Do you not like meat? Do you really like vegetables? Do you rather not eat vegetables? Do you like carbs? Do you like red wine, white wine? Do you rather drink beer? Do you rather drink soda? Do you rather drink water with or without lemons, mint, cucumbers, infused, not infused? What do you truly like? What brings you joy? Tap into that. And again, if you're not sure, start looking at your current life right now. What are the things that are in my life that I am not sure about, that I say that I like, but I don't find any joy in those things? Again, we let ourselves go because of external obligations. As women, we are conditioned to take care of other people. We are told that we must let ourselves go because our children come first, our significant others come first. And the truth of the matter is, no, they do not. You need to come first. And this is not, again, one of those things that you're going to figure this out on Sunday and Monday you're going to hit the ground running. No, it's going to take work because there's been months, years, decades of conditioning. So it's going to take time for you to rewrite your story, for you to reprogram your thought patterns to get to realize that you are truly a priority and that you matter. Think back in your earlier years, before you had kids, before you became a wife, before you got this career job. What did you truly want to do with yourself? What did you envision doing with your life? What was that dream, that desire that you had that has gone away or it's been pushed to the back burner because of external obligations? Tap into that. Tap into the dreams and the desires that you once had and start asking yourself, is this something that I truly still want to do? And make a plan to make your dreams, your reality come true. I truly hope that you enjoyed these two segments, inner healing and inner work, and the second one, confidence and identity. And make sure that you check back in next week when we are going to be talking about boundaries and self-worth and daily practices and mindset. I will see you here next week. And remember that you are a priority and you matter. And make sure that you hit that share button with a friend or two that can use a reminder that they too matter. See you here next week.